Hank Aaron. Dennis Green. Eddie Aquino. Tiger Woods. Michael Jordan. And Riddick Bowe. What do these individuals have in common? They all turned physical challenges into opportunities and created roads for others to follow. We begin our first hour of Roads to Success with conversations with some of the greatest athletes in the world of sports. For 23 years, Hank Aaron played baseball, mastering America's favorite pastime. He holds more batting records than any other player in the history of the game and is baseball's undisputed home run king. When did you know that you wanted to become a baseball player?
I guess I always thought that even when I was playing sandlot ball in Mobile, Alabama, that I wanted to play professional baseball. But as you know, back then there were no black players playing. And of course, when Jackie Robinson broke in and they gave every black kid a little sunshine and a little ray of hope, you know, that he could get to the big leagues.
When you first broke into baseball, did you play with the Negro Leagues?
That was the greatest experience I've ever had, you know, of playing in that league. I played, in fact, when I left Mobile, I was signed by the Indianapolis Clowns.
Who is the best player you've ever seen in your life?
The greatest player, I think, would have to be Willie Mays, you know, all-round player. The most exciting player I ever saw, of course, was Jackie Robinson. You know, Jackie was the one that could excite and get a crowd excited, no matter whether he was playing in Brooklyn or whether he was playing in Birmingham, Alabama. The greatest hit I ever seen was Stan Musial. So I had to put those three in that perspective, you know.
What was your relationship like with your fellow comrades, like the baseball players like Willie Mays, Bob Gibson, Roberto Clemente?
I kind of think it was a little bit different in the relationship that most black athletes in professional sports, in particular in baseball, has right now. For an example, if we was playing a series in Pittsburgh and playing against the Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, after the game, you know, the three of us, myself, maybe Willis Stargell and Roberto Clemente, and Don Clendenin, he was part of that ball club, we would all go out to dinner together because there were only a few places that we could go, even in Pittsburgh at the time, you know. We got along very well, but there was no patronizing. Once the game started, once we put on our uniform, we were intimate. You know, it wasn't like we would pat each other on the back and say certain things. We were all intimate. We knew what we had to do, and that's what we went out to do.
You spoke about the fact that you could only go to certain places when you were chasing Babe Ruth's record. You received death threats. Can you tell us about that?
I played the game for 23 years. And of course, I was averaging some 35 or 40 home runs a year and got to where I was challenging one of the most prestigious records in all of sports, you know, was Babe Ruth home run record. And people just couldn't identify with that, you know. So, and consequently, what they were doing, they was voicing their opinion. They were writing letters, hate letters, vicious letters, all kinds of letters, you know. And at that time, my daughter was at Fisk University, my oldest daughter, who graduated from Fisk University. She was also receiving these same kind of threats, you know, death threats, you know, and and she was confined to the campus, you know. So it was really, to answer your question, it was really a tough time for me in more ways than one, not only playing the game on the field, but worrying about my children. Even when I traveled on the road, you know, my teammates would stay in one hotel and I had to stay in another one. I had to be escorted out of the ballpark by policemen. I had to be escorted in the hotel. It was kind of, you know, it was really a sad time for me. You know, I don't talk about it that much until people bring it up, you know, because it doesn't bring back fun memories, you know, because the fact that I was living like in a bubble, you know, damn if you do, damn if you don't situation, you know. So it was really some tough times for me, you know, and I guess it kind of left some scars on me, you know, because I look at right now, you know, it was time that I didn't enjoy my son, who was in a school here and was a football player, and I wanted to go to the games to watch him play, and I just couldn't go to the games. I couldn't watch him play. I had to sneak in the ballparks, and it was I had some really tough times.
You had a strong family upbringing. Tell us about your parents.
My father and mother both was very good people, you know, and I think without them, without the two of them, telling me some things that that some of the Boy Scouts oath that went with me all through my life, that I don't think that I would have made it, you know, really. I think that I would have had a tougher time than I had ordinarily, you know, if I had not been for my mother and father both, you know. And so, you know, they were just, they were the pillar in my life for the years that I played in baseball.
Do you think the scars that baseball has inflicted on your soul, do you think it's colored your decision to leave baseball?
There is absolutely no anger. I am not angry at all about the things that I went through. I don't have time to be angry with anybody. You know, I think an angry man is a defeated man. You know, if you get angry, if you're angry with someone, you don't have time to move in the right direction. So that's why I have to go into another era in my life and say, hey, sweep it under the rug, Henry. You don't have time to worry about it. Go to another phase and another chapter in your life, because there's a lot of good things out here I need to be involved with. I'm a part of a Boy Scout organization. I learned some great things being in the Boy Scouts, and I could probably repeat half of my Boy Scout laws right now, you know.
Let me hear one of them.
Well, okay, on my honor, I will do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout laws, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so that's right here, you know.